Easy to be taken into the backs of vans. That's why last year across Britain, more than 25,000 were stolen. Thieves target motorbikes to make money by using them either to commit more crimes or to sell them on. In Edinburgh, DC Stevie Carroll and PC Stuart Dow have seized a scooter which they believe has been stolen and given false number plates. They've taken it to the police garage to be given a full examination to try to find clues to its true identity.
It's definitely not a 51 plate bike. We can tell by the mileage, we can tell by the various parts on the bike how old they are, just through the experience that we have. So we'll go back and check our records and we'll see the number of bikes that are missing. He's had this since December. We'll then go back, see what bikes we have missing in that period prior to that, and then we'll bring the owners in and the owners will identify their bikes.
With the bodywork removed, it becomes clear that the bike would offer no further clues about its identity or who may have stolen it. All the identification numbers have been ground off.
That's where the number should be.
These people, they do quite a lot of work to try and cover their tracks, but at some point they will slip up. And we'll keep working away until we find out who they are. They're doing a lot of bikes, so they're going to make mistakes at some point. Eventually we'll catch up with them.
While PC Dow continues to examine the scooter, DC Carroll logs on to the police national computer and discovers some interesting information.
And what we've done is I've gone in and searched for a Yamaha 50cc scooter, and we found one that matches the description, and it also it's stolen in December. He took possession at the end of December, so it matches all the criteria that we're looking for, and it's valued at £2,000. That's a possible.
It's been a successful day's work, and the investigation into who is responsible for the theft can now begin in earnest. "200 miles south of Edinburgh, Sergeant Andy Torkington and PC Colin Mason are out in patrol in Gorton, north of Stockport. Apart from London and Liverpool, Greater Manchester has the highest rate of motorbike theft in the UK.
Nowadays, you know, you don't know, do you? You don't let your kids out, you don't leave your bike on the drive. All these things that you don't do, that you daren't do, that's what the society that we live in.
It's late evening and the streets are quiet. But as they drive into a housing estate, the officers see two young men pushing a moped along the street.
Here we go, here we are.
As they spot the police car, the youths take off. Sergeant Torkington goes after one of them on foot, while PC Mason goes after the other in the car. But the young man heads down an alleyway, leaving the officer with no option but to continue the chase on foot.
Wait there, mate.
The suspect has vanished, but PC Mason knows he can't have gone far.
I'm not saying I'm the fastest in the world myself, but it wasn't that far in front then and disappeared suddenly, so... So I'm just pushing the bike, trying to get it going. No race plate on the back of it, seen us, and ran off, obviously, so it's going to be a stall on his back.
The search will continue later, and as PC Mason returns to the stolen bike, there's good news. Sergeant Torkington has caught the young man he went after.
If you're involved in something, you'll get arrested, yes. If you're not, you won't, but you've just run off from me.
Yeah, no, because I'm scared. I'm helping him trying to start a fight, yeah? There's no need in it at all.
Shut up, you, yeah.
Shut up, put your hands behind your back.
I'll fight him, mate,
Do as you're told. Put your hands behind your back and do as you're told. Right, sit him in the car, come. He was the lad who was pushing it, dropped the bike in front of us. It's got no number plate on it. It's had a lot of the identifying features removed from it, a lot of the lights and things like that. This will be recent stolen, I've no doubt. So we just need to try and identify it now. It's Mike Echo 4 Juliet.
Although the bike has no number plates, Sergeant Torkington has located its vehicle identification number.
24230. I'm looking at a Honda. If that isn't the one, I'll try and do a bit more digging.
The young man is arrested, but appears unfazed by his predicament.
Yeah. And can I ask what I'm being arrested for? Being on a stolen motorbike?
Yeah. OK, happy with that?
Yeah.
Right, he owns the place.
A little bit, yeah.
What for?
Just daft stuff.
Like what, nicking mopeds?
No, never been nicked for robbing anything like that.
Exact match, it is an outstanding stolen. Honda SCV 100 in blue.
Lovely, that's received, thank you. The motorcycle is an outstanding stolen Obviously my ladder will be locked up imminently. It's stolen off the area that we're in, so we'll have this recovered and I'll go and give him the good news. Young man, you're under arrest on suspicion of theft of a motorcycle, OK?
Right.
You're going to go to Longside where you'll be questioned regarding the theft of this motorbike.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
No.
OK. How old are you?
16.
16. Thought you'd be better at running than that. Anyway.
I'm not going to run for nothing, am I?
18 years my junior then, Colin. 18 years.
Yeah, he's a young lad. He's not even old enough to drive a moped. He's 16 years of age. He does say he is known to the police. And obviously he was nicking this bike for joyriding, but you know, the bike in that sort of condition with 2 lads on board is a disaster waiting. You know, the amount of traffic on the roads, they're after themselves getting knocked off or causing injury, aren't they? You'd think he was feeling embarrassed, but on the initial speaking to him, he doesn't seem bothered at all. So that's some reaction you get from some people, isn't it? They're just not bothered to see what happens when his parents come and speak to him at the police station, see if he alters his mindset then and decides to reflect on what he's done. Come on, young man.
Excuse me.
On the cake.
The 16-year-old is taken off to be questioned and charged. It's a successful arrest, although they're not quite sure what effect it will have in the long term.
You know, that person works hard, he's bought that bike, he uses it probably to commute every day to work, and these little no-marks come and steal it off his drive and then just trash it. And then they're so brazen that they're riding it around the streets where they live.
16-year-old lad starts off with that, doesn't he? And then he starts nicking cars, and then he starts doing robberies in the cars and burglaries, and it all progresses, doesn't it? So if you can nip him in the bud now and get him the help they need, there's a possibility you can stop him.
Seven miles northeast of Stockport lies Tameside. Here, the police have a similar problem with youngsters and motorbikes. The burglary task force specifically targets burglary and vehicle theft in the area. 2 of its members, PC's Roger Galt and Anthony Scott, are out on patrol when they see a motorbike being ridden without lights.
This incident has not seen any firearms, just a bit of clear.
Behind motorcycle, can I pass you a BRN?
The bike also has L plates and shouldn't be carrying a passenger, especially one not wearing a helmet.
Yeah, affirmative. We're now Turtle Road, Rochdale, behind the Mitsubishi Pajero,
Say,
towards Shore now.
The rider seems oblivious to the flashing blue lights behind him.
Victor Mike, nothing else on the road.
Get off!
Nothing else on the road.
Get off!
1 male driver like an Afghan Caribbean.
While PC Galt takes care of the driver, PC Scott talks to the passenger.
So, you've no idea that you're not allowed to sit on the back of a motorbike with no helmet? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
So why has your friend there got a helmet on?
No, he just said you want to back it somewhere, so I says yeah.
You been in trouble?
No.
Never?
No.
Where do you live?
Oh, I've been in trouble once.
How old are you?
15.
Right. Right, come sit in the back of the car.
It's not looking good for the driver either.
Where are we going now?
Just checking some details off you. Turn your phone off, son.
Your bike, is it? Yeah. When did you get it?
Not long ago.
You got insurance on it?
That's the only thing that's not got in it.
Have you got provisional driving licence, yeah?
The motorbike isn't stolen. It belongs to the young rider. But it's not insured, and it will be seized.
What's going to happen is you're going to get this bike recovered. You're not insured to ride it on a road. You're not insured to be on the back of it either with no helmet. So we're going to get it recovered, and it's taken off you, that's it.
Not only has the driver broken the law, the pair have also put their own and other road users' lives at serious risk.
I ride motorbikes myself, and I certainly won't ride it without a helmet. This young lad said he wasn't aware that you have to wear a helmet. I'm sure he does. He's just jumped on the back because he wanted to have a ride around the corner, but very dangerous. As you can see, the roads are very wet. It's dark, and we only just saw him coming out of that road, so he shouldn't be doing it, and that's why we're taking it away from him.
You're a clown, and you're a bigger clown for getting on the back of it.
Sorry about that.
What you've got to be sorry for, more than anything, is the simple fact that if you come off, crack your head, end of, you end up eating your meals out of a straw for the rest of your life. Yeah? And then you've got to live with that fact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah? How are you going to feel if he's like that for the rest of his life? Or even worse, he could be dead. Think about that.
Now that PC Galt has their details, the young men are sent on their way. As they're under 18, their parents will be contacted about the incident, but no one knows what effect that will have.
He couldn't insure it without points on his licence, so he's never going to be able to insure it with points on his licence. So there's two ways of looking at it. Will it stop him from riding a motorbike, or will he continue to ride the motorbike with no insurance? Time will tell.
The bike will now be taken to the pound, and unless the young man gets it insured and pays a recovery fee, it will be crushed. Back in Edinburgh, DC Carroll and PC Dow have been trying to find the person responsible for the theft of the scooter, which was replated and sold on to an innocent purchaser. The suspect is a teenager with a long record of stealing motorbikes in the city. He's someone they've dealt with many times in the past.
We're going to try and detain a young guy who sold a stolen scooter on false plates. So we're going to hopefully get hold of him tonight, speak to him regarding it. But we know through previous experience with other officers that he doesn't speak to the police. I don't think he'll be in. He's not the guy that'll sit in the house at nights. They're out every night, these guys. So I'm not holding much hope, actually, of getting a hold of him.
When they get to the young man's house, DC Carroll's suspicions are proved right. No one is at home, but they alert other units to be on the lookout.
No reply at house.
Yeah, I'll just go see if I see him. I'll just grab him for you.
Oh, you do that, you grab him.
On their way back to the station, the officers decide to have a look round the estate. And as they do, they see a young man on a scooter.
He's bare arms and everything. Bare legs.
He's wearing a helmet, but the rest of his clothing is unsuitable and unsafe for riding a scooter. And even though they don't believe he's the young man they're looking for, the officers decide to pull him over.
All right. Is it your bike, pal, is it?
No, I just thought that you go on.
Do you think it's safe to drive about like that?
What?
You stay, is it your bike, is it? Right, stay here now.
You got a licence?
No.
No.
Right, take a seat
What
in the
are you
back
doing
of
in the
the
bike
car.
Without a license and with no insurance, he's in trouble, and he knows it.
I know you are. Come here.
Hold on to the bike. You got him?
While PC Dow chases him, DC Carroll questions the owner.
Just that you get done for it, that's all. Why is he on your bike?
Just ask for a shot.
Have you got a licence for it?
Aye.
What have you got for it?
I got my provision.
The young man is refusing to reveal the identity of his friend, so DC Carroll has no option but to charge him.
You know who was on the bike. If you don't tell me, you're committing an offence by not telling us, right? Who was driving your bike? You're not telling us.
He's being charged with allowing an uninsured driver to ride his bike and refusing to reveal his friend's identity. His scooter is seized by police. More than can be said for the youth who ran off. But DC Carroll is taking the loss of the young man in his stride.
We were both standing next to him when he ran. I had his shirt, but it was just that nylon stuff. He's obviously just snatched his hand out of his shirt, you know, when he was doing the changeover. But I'm not going to catch him anyway, eh? No chance. You know, sometimes if they get away like that, so what, you know? I mean, you've still got one there, you've still got the owner, and you've still got somebody.
As they return to the station, there's good news. The young man they were originally looking for in connection with the stolen and replated scooter has been picked up by another unit who have brought him in for questioning. PC Dow and DC Carroll finally have their man. Still to come, PC Mason and the Stockport team hunt down a wanted man with a case of mistaken identity.
I'm not going to tell lies to you, mate, honestly.